Good evening, ghouls and goblins, and welcome to the Nocturnal Fermentation Halloween special. While my family and pets are outside protecting the perimeter from chuds, zombies, and vampires, we're going to stay in here where it's safe and warm and make beetroot wine. Now, I know Halloween is a few months off, but that's okay because this beautiful, rich, blood red wine will be ready for us to enjoy for our Halloween festivities. And if you're a vegetarian like me, you don't necessarily like using real blood for your demon conjuring blood rituals. Well, this blood red, beautiful, rich beetroot wine will fool even the most discerning of vampires and won't have that overpowering taste of iron. So now join me as I make like the Go-Go's because I got the beets. Okay, so I'm very excited to do this. I love beets. I love beet juice, roasted beets, chilled beets, pickled beets, but I've never had beet wine. So in the spirit of Halloween, this will be like a mad science experiment. So we're going to be using about 3 to 3.5 pounds of red beets. I like the smaller ones because they tend to be juicier and sweeter. Just like a zombie, they spend a lot of their life underground in the dirt. So make sure that you're scrubbing these very, very well before you start using them. And we're going to cut off the tops, the bottoms, and we're going to dice these up. For acidity, we're going to be juicing this orange and using some of the zest for the must. We'll be using 4 cups of sugar. We'll also be adding in a cinnamon stick, a few cloves, cardamom pods, and brewing up a cup of black tea for tannin. And in addition to the black tea, we're also going to be using some raisins for a little bit of body and tannin and mouthfeel, not for nutrients. I want my final yield to be about a gallon of wine, which should get us about 750 milliliter bottles. We're going to be using a gallon of spring water, and I might top it off with a little bit more just to anticipate any loss that we get from transferring from primary into our secondary. For wine yeast, we're going to be using a Red Star Premier Rouge. I think this is going to work really well for that deep, deep blood red color we're going to get out of this wine. It should be ready for Halloween. So we're going to chop our beets. Now, as you'll see pretty soon, this cutting board is going to look like a murder happened here. Beets are juicy and they stain very easily, so don't wear your best clothes. Maybe have one wear an apron. Now I've covered my beets in about half a gallon of water, maybe a little bit more. Turn on the heat. And while we wait for that to boil, we're going to go ahead and chop up our raisins. Nothing crazy, just a little rough chop there. Again, not for nutrient, but for a little body and flavor. Also, I'm going to go ahead and cut my orange in half. Get a little bit of that zest. I'll go ahead and just put it in this ramekin with my raisins. So it's all going to go in the pot together. And I probably should have zested this before I cut it. So you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and juice this bad boy right now. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and add some output to my must. That's what I'm gonna do. We're going to continue to let it boil. These beets will start getting softer and impart just a beautiful ruby color that will look fit for a Halloween beverage. I think right now we'll start adding in some of our sugar. Let that dissolve. Now that's reached a rigorous boil and just getting this beautiful, delicious blood red color. I love this. This looks like something at a Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm going to go ahead and add my spices to it. Add my raisins and my zest. Now that it's reached a boil, I'm going to turn that heat down real low. And I'm just going to let it simmer and cover it for about 15 minutes or so. Okay, so we've given our must about 15 minutes to simmer. And it's given us this beautiful red color. Beautiful blood red. Turn off the heat. I'm going to set it aside and let it cool down for a little bit. Set it and forget it for a little bit. I'm going to get my yeast starter situated. I'm going to use just a little bit of that beautiful red water from our must. And I'm using the measuring cup that I use for my sugar. It's got a little bit of residual sugar in there to help get that, that yeast started. I'm actually going to go ahead and put in about half a cup of sugar and give it another vigorous stir. Now this beautiful ruby red color that you see right now, we're going to have to protect it because the light can diminish this color. So I'll definitely be covering this with a towel while it ferments in this vessel. Drop in the rest of our raisins. Oh man, I'm gonna have to do a lot of cleaning up when I'm done. I've got, looks like blood splatter all over my kitchen. Alright, now lastly, our yeast starter, or our yeast. So I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of yeast nutrient. Sprinkle that in there. Give another good stir. Oh my gosh, that smells so good. I am so excited to drink this wine. So excited. Now goes on our airlock, and I like to top off my airlock with a little vodka. So that way I have an excuse to top myself off with a little vodka. And can't forget the tonic.